growing dimmer. I hold on to my memories. Small one, that's what my mother said. She said your life has just begun. You'll see the rage of stormy weather, but there are rainbows there, and things will soon get better. So you hang on, 'cause there's a dream out there with your name on it. There's a wish somewhere waiting for you. There's a star in the night whose light will be shining brighter when that dream with your name on it comes true. Stand tall, don't you be afraid. You're sure to find your way. And when that voice that's deep inside you says to take a chance, that is what you've got to do. Follow your heart, go where it's leading you. It's telling you there's a dream out there with your name on it. Oh yes, there's a song somewhere to lighten your heart. There's a strength from within that you can depend on when it seems that your schemes are falling through. There's a dream out there for you. Oh yeah, oh yes it is. There's a strength from within you can depend on when it seems that your schemes are falling through. There's a dream out there with your name on it. Oh, there's a wish somewhere waiting for you. There's a strength from within that you can depend on when that dream with your name on it comes true. Oh yeah, when it comes true.
Coma. I'm delighted to be able to participate, at least through this video. I wished I could be there in person, but I truly can appreciate what occasion this is for you. After all, I consider you one of the great entrepreneurs in America today, in the sense of where you started and where you've been able to matriculate to. And I can identify with that to the extent that we kind of shared a lot of this at the same time. I truly remember how important Proline was in the early stages of getting all pro broadcasting, or KACE, to enjoy a meaningful beginning. And I just think about all the job opportunities and everything else that you've been able to provide, and it truly makes an occasion like this, I'm sure, very meaningful to you in a lot of ways. I surely realize that you're even accomplishing such a position in black enterprise kind of stars, as I would call them, or lineup of companies that have achieved. Clearly that distinguishes you itself as being number 8 in terms of a position. But enough about this occasion. I won't try to get into a few of the other things that I could talk about. It might get you in trouble. Okay.
All right, a lot of things going on out here. That was Willie Davis. We can see what he's been doing for the last few years. Now, wait a minute now. I guess I don't even have to say the joke, do I? Eating. But he looks good. Tom Jones out here mixing this Dixie Peach and Brill Cream. No wonder he doesn't have any hair. We've got to give another hand to Venita out of here. Give her a big hand. Venita out of here. Yes, we are being entertained here tonight. It's a great show. Our next 3 distinguished guests, I tell you, you know these guys from their work in civil rights and human rights, and also from the corporate world. Ladies and gentlemen, from New York City, our good friend, Mr. L. Sharpton. Also from New York City, Frank Mercado Valdez. And from my hometown, Atlanta, Georgia, Mr. Martin Luther King III.
Good evening, and certainly I'm honored to be here tonight to join you in honoring such a great man who I believe this century would not have been complete if we had not done a night for Cottrell. I first met Brother Cottrell as he has been active in supporting those of us involved in the struggle for civil rights. And with all of his stature and achievements, you know he's just a regular kind of person. He said to me, Reverend Al, I want to help you out because I've always felt like you were a traveling billboard for my products. I never told him whether I used Proline or not, only my hairdresser knows for sure. But beyond that, the joking and humor, Cottrell is a very serious man who has risen against the odds and has proven that if you are committed and if you are persistent, that you can achieve. He is a living testimony to our children that we cannot use the excuse that we can't make it. Yes, we still have an uneven playing field, but Cottrell has shown what we can do at our best. Many people have become rich, many people have become famous, but not all have gone beyond fame and fortune to achieve what he's achieved. And that is value beyond his wealth and fame. Many of us that achieve things turn around and never remember those that we leave behind. The reason that we're here tonight is not because Coma is rich or famous, but because he used his wealth and his fame to help many that are not rich and that are not famous, and has really made America better in the process. I often say the hardest job of a black preacher is to preach the funeral of an unproductive Negro. That's a hard job. They roll the body down the aisle, lay it out in front of the pulpit, families sitting there crying, and we are expected to hallucinate a life for you you never lived. In fact, most folks shouldn't even have a funeral. Most folks should go straight from the morgue to the cemetery. But Coma was one of those rare people that people are lined up to talk about. because Comer has lived a little above himself and has made his life have meaning because he touched all of us and helped all of us. I often tell a story, and I'll leave you with this. It's a story that reminds me of Comer Cottrell. There was a minister named Reverend Brown. Reverend Brown died and went to claim his quarters in heaven. When he got to the gate, St. Peter was standing there with his book of life. Reverend Brown walked up with an arrogant attitude and said to Peter, "I'm Reverend Brown, and I've come to claim my quarters in glory." Peter opened his book to his long list of preachers, and as he searched high and low, he couldn't find this particular Reverend Brown's name. And after a thorough search, he looked up and said, "I'm sorry, Reverend Brown, I can't seem to find your name." Reverend Brown was a little taken back, but he tried again. He said, "I know the problem, Peter. You know, I wasn't just a preacher. I was a scholar. I wrote 17 books. I contributed to national periodicals. God probably didn't put me down with the other preachers. He probably listed me under scholars." Peter smiled and obliged and opened his long list of scholars. And after another thorough search, he couldn't find Brown's name under scholars. He looked up again and said, "I'm sorry, Dr. Brown, I still can't seem to place your name." Brown now is embarrassed and a little humiliated, but he tried one more time. He said, "I forgot to tell you something else. I built one of the greatest cathedrals of my time, a huge marble and onyx cathedral. People would come from 3 states just to see my church building. God probably listed me under great cathedral builders." Peter obliged again and opened up his book to the great cathedral builders. And after another painful search, he couldn't come up with Brown's name. He said, "I'm sorry, Reverend Brown, I really can't find your name." Now Brown turned to go to his inevitable quarters on the other side. But when he turned, an angel stopped him. She said, "Wait a minute, sir. You look strangely familiar to me. Something about you, I've seen that profile of yours before." She says, "Coming to me now." She said, "Aren't you the man that used to get up early in the morning and go out in the fields and feed the birds and the sparrows?" He said, "Yes, that's true. I used to tell my wife after dinner to leave the little bread bits on the table, and I would get up before the sun every morning and go feed the birds and the sparrows that no one else had time for." She said, "That's the problem, sir. I don't want to hurt your feelings, but God didn't really listen to too many of your sermons. And he never read your books. And he really didn't frequent your big cathedral. But his eyes was on the sparrow. And he would watch every morning to see who had time for the little forgotten sparrows that no one else had time for. And he listed you in the book of life as one of the great sparrow feeders of all times. When our brother Comer Cottrell is weighed in history, they will not take out the balance sheet at Pro-Life. They will not talk about his fame or fortune. They will talk about how Bishop College was finished and Comer Cottrell brought it back. They will talk about the Cottrell house that was put up for forgotten children that nobody else had time for. I come to Dallas tonight not to salute a rich man, not to salute a famous man, but to salute a man whose eyes has been on the sparrow, to say thank you, Comer, for the sparrows. You had time to stop and feed some of us. Thank you, and God bless you.